Well, this is disappointing. I really didn't expect this. Welcome back to Shed Wars. Come and see. So we put carrots out here as transplants, and I fully expected them to survive. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's all I can see here right now. I'll give you a little closer look at them. So here they are. So now I have this whole space here that's empty. I had thought that maybe I would plant that out with some of my own carrot seed, resow it. But I thought more. And that is that if I let these grow, that's Denver's 126, I can take these carrot and grow them out to seed next year. If I reseed with my own seed, I won't know which carrot is which. So I don't want to put carrot here. Let's look over the rest of the beds. So now we're right down the end of the new bed, and cucumbers, they were very difficult to germinate this year. I don't know why. And so I didn't get the Market More cucumber to go here. The Mortgage Lifter tomato, you can see he doesn't look that healthy, but true to Newfoundland, I put them out to Arden off, and a windstorm come up and it would just beat them all around, and I thought they were all dead. But these are alive, and we're having warm temperatures now at the end of June, so I might get tomatoes off of this one. This one over here, it nearly died, but as you can see, it's coming back from the bottom, so we'll see what'll happen. I don't have any extra seed for Mortgage Lifter tomato, so hopefully I get at least one fully ripe fruit. Next to Mortgage Lifter tomato is salad bowl red lettuce. Now this is doing beautifully, isn't it? I'm going to have a salad with some of these leaves there for supper. Next to that would be our butter crunch lettuce. Another one that's doing just wonderfully. I'm very happy with some of the lettuce plantings this year. Then we have the Lanrath bush beans. They are doing well. Bouquet dill. Now the lettuce mixed greens, up until this week, they were just little tiny things. I didn't know if they're going to do anything. But now they started to take off. So we've got rain and cooler weather in the forecast. So they might come and be very good in the next couple of weeks. The same thing with baby Swiss chard. Above that now, I thought these were going to do wonderfully. And then the temperature come in, we have had 34-degree temperature with a humidex of 41. So everything dried out, and we've got one here that died. This is the snowball cauliflower. The one cauliflower over there is still alive. And the Godzilla broccoli, they're holding on. Once again, the temperatures are supposed to go down a bit, so hopefully they can get a chance to take off. I planted 5 Sugar Prince pea here, didn't I? And only 2 of them come up. But I don't have any more seed. That's all I had was 5 seed. See this guy? I have no idea what that is. I gotta wait for it to flower to find out. But this shorter one next to it, that's Benning's green tint. And then if you go over the other side, that itty bitty one with just the 2 seed leaves, that's also Benning's green tint. I don't think I have any more seed for that. Next to Denver's Athlon, not Denver's Athlon, what is Denver's 126, was supposed to be early round Dutch cabbage. And I think I had 2 planted there initially. But out in the full sun, you see, they are not wanting to go at all. So, I don't know. I have some cabbage that are doing well and they are in shade. Here, well, you see what you got. And then we have the Italian parsley. Latino kale, not saying it's doing that well, but once again it's because of the high temperatures. This is the yellow pear tomato, and it will do well. It is starting to flower, both of those. They will do very well now over the next couple of months. Now, here's another disappointment. I was saying we had 34 degrees. I had hoped to, because this was a self-seeded radish, that the seeds were there as soon as the ground warmed up, that I would get some radish. But they never got a chance to bulb up. And the hot weather come, every one of them has bolted. So that's a very big disappointment. Now in among this is the Scarlet Nantes carrot. So I am going to cut these down, maybe lay them out for a chop and drop, but find the carrots that's among those, see how many we have. There is, over on this side, remember last year, I let the Swiss cherry go to seed? Well, we've got one growing right there. So that's one of the Swiss cherry from the seed of the Swiss cherry that was growing last year. I don't know if I'll show you what I've got done with the radishes there, because this video, what's more important, I have 2 things important, and the first thing we're going to look at is this tree right here. So this is the Myrobland cherry plum, and there's basically, they have it split up into 3 groups of your tree type crops. There's the bush, that's the one where all the canes come up from the roots, and so you get a bunch of stalks coming up right out of the ground, something like the forsythia or a alder. And then you have your regular tree, which has the main central big stalk and the much smaller branches come off all around. And then you have something like this. You have a single stalk that comes up out of the soil from the root crown, but it's barely out of the soil before it starts putting off branches. And if I were to heal this up with mulch, it would look like a bush, but it's actually a shrub. You could leave it like that. It depends on what you are doing. Here, because we want to underplant it, we have our green onions, our chives, and it's really close to the garden bed there. We need to, what they call, raise the crown and have some spacing under so that we can underplant this. And so What we're going to do is just take our regular pruners and snip off the lower branches. Including, this is a fair sized branch, but it starts just above the soil, so I'm going to clip that one off as well. And now these branches, you can see they're going right over into the vegetation that's over in the bed, and they're way down low. Make sure you clip off every last one. Now you see it has a single trunk, and the branches coming out further up is looking more like a tree. So this is not quite what you would see with the professionally made, what they call standards, but I can keep raising that crown up and it'll bush out above where I've got them clipped off, and I can have just a single stalk with this bush up on top. Or I can keep pruning it in the shape of a, like most people prune their other fruit trees, and have it a normal fruit tree shape. We'll see what happens in the future as this tree grows and I have to prune it every year. Back to our disappointment here. And I would expect the same thing is going to happen with the Scarlet Nantes. I want to fill in this space. If you have a suggestion of what to put here, let me know. From the seeds of the Shedwars initially, I have these that could be set here. And we might get an harvest if I do. The Landrath bush bean, butter crunch lettuce, the lettuce mixed greens, early round Dutch cabbage, salad bowl red lettuce, Godzilla broccoli, lacinato kale, and snowball cauliflower. We could direct sow those and see as an experiment to see what happens over the next 3 months that it would have to grow. So leave it in the comments which one you would like for me to put in here. If you've watched my other videos and you see something from the rest of the garden, then you can mention one of them if it's not in this list of seeds that I have here. Peas. I only have 2 plants, yes. But in my experience, if you let those peas get very high at all, then it becomes a trouble to get them to actually grow up their trellis. So I need to get a trellis put for those 2 pea plants to climb on, like right now. So we're going to wander around and see if we can find something. I don't think I put the large loppers on the original list of tools. I could cut this down with a pair of large loppers, but since they weren't, and this is Shedwars, we're going to have to use our pruning saw. We are up on the cliff just behind the apple tree on the cliff, and I have another one to get just right there. Okay, I'm figuring this out as I go now. So I'm going to put a peg down here. So that's in nice and tight. And I'm going to put another one over here. Okay, that's that step. This is the ends of those two pieces of stick that we just got up by the apple tree. This is that biodegradable salsa twine. So I'm going to overlap these two sticks about 2 feet. So the first bit, let's see how well we can do this. Knots on this hold very well. So I'm going to put that one there. Maybe I won't cut it this time. Instead, just tie the end. And the idea then is to go around and around and around. Maybe I should bring you in a little closer for that part. So I'll take the string and go so far down, and when I get so far, then you can just hold it back slip that up through there. And back around this way, go down through. Now I can tie this first one that I made onto it. Now that should not slip. The distance between those two pegs was 28 inches. So to help me with the next step, I'm going to tie this onto here. And I'm going to tie these two ends together so that they're 28 inches. There. Now the one thing I didn't want it to do, you see how this side broke off and he's right at right angles. Now I need to do something. So I'm going to have to crack the other one too. That will be tall enough for those peas. So now here's my reasoning for tying these together, is that I only need to hold on to one side. Put it down in the ground, tie it onto this stake. I can cut this line so far back so I got that side tied on. Okay, so now I got this frame up. I'll start down really low, so the first line goes right along beside the peas. I'm going from outside on this side to inside on this side so that the lines always cross each other. Don't know if that makes a difference or no. I'm sure not clear. Now, hopefully you can see the strings on the camera. There's the peas. This should be a good enough trellis for those peas to climb up, and it's about 5'6". There, it's another Shedwars video for you. Don't forget now to check out online #Shedwars21 to get the videos from all the other collaborators. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you'd like to follow along, make sure you're subscribed. and I'll see you in the next video.